Here's the original Leaf radiator that came with this particular Leaf. Unfortunately, it has 1, 2, 3 bad rows. That's a bummer. I was hoping to reuse this guy. As beautiful as it is, it just makes things a lot easier when you can use the whatever this is, 3/4 inch input and output, as well as the existing. I might try and patch that. We'll see. Got the water pump and the fans. Look at these. Gorgeous, right? They still spin. Can't believe it. Ha. Bunch of hoses, not pictured. I have a couple extra radiators that I was thinking I might try and incorporate instead of the original, but we'll see. This is from a Honda Civic. That's, I think, a Subaru over there. And I have a new Scirocco radiator that I use in the Subaru conversions. Gotta be able to make something work here. I've decided to just stick with the stock radiator. This one I'm not sure if I'll repair or not. I might. Trying to keep costs down. In any case, the Leaf uses such a low pressure. I can't remember the rating, but it's really low. So if I were to cut these and weld them up, I think that'd be fine. There, it's a couple inches. The Husky bag is in the way, but the gear reduction box is at least a few inches lower. Yeah, it's a good, I don't know, 4 inches or so lower. So even with the mounting brackets, that could work. I know this isn't the best place for airflow, but I'm going to rely on the fans mostly because there isn't much back here. I mean, obviously I could run the lines way up front, but I'm not going to do that. In this case, I'm going to try and figure out something back here because I still want to be able to create like a little trunk area that sticks down real low, so that I can put stuff in here. This has to be like a car that I can actually use for stuff, not just the little race car. So, thinking right there, but we'll see. Here we go, got the fins cut out, and I think we have pretty good access to either soldering or using radiator repair plastic. Have the plastic repair and the solder paste, and this one says high performance, so I think I'm gonna go with it. It's starting to melt a little. This will sit right on top, hopefully, and still allow coolant to flow. I was thinking I might have to pinch them off and then seal them up, but I'm going to see if this will just work by still allowing coolant to flow. That'd be great. This is just more fun, and it's instant, essentially. I don't have to wait a week to get it in the mail. Just a little drip is fine, right? There we go. No leaks now. Had to redo some spots. Some hidden ones that I didn't repair in the first round. But we're good now. Have the repaired radiator here now. I'm gonna install the hoses first before I go too far along, then I'll work on getting the brackets installed. a little tight. This hose is a bit close, so I'm just gonna lop it off and put the hose on this section. So rather than here, this actually looks like a better spot. Sweet. Just have to clean that up a little bit. There we go. Let's get it connected to the pump. I have the pump just kind of resting here. I need to lop this little guy off and drill out this bracket hole, and it should match up perfectly. There we go. So we have some vibration isolation, and the routing looks pretty good. And this is going to go to the lower radiator hose so that it always has fluid. A little different than the stock setup. Alright, here's the bracket. Still need to figure out the Chatamo clasp right there, but the pressure bottle, it's actually not really a pressure bottle but just a coolant bottle. It's going to sit right there, and it does have a little bit of flex, but I think that'll be alright. I still need to weld up the side to give it a little more strength. It does have the locating portion for the top pin on the radiator, so I'm going to lift the car up and build the bottom brackets. Here is where it's going to sit, and I just need to figure out some brackets to hold. As you can see, it's upside down because I'm using the drain plug as a fill to keep that at the highest point, and I'm using the top lugs as the supports. Should work out great. I'll keep you posted. But I need to come off of here and then come off of here. I'm not sure if I'm just going to build, you know, one bracket for each side or build like a piece that goes all the way across. Maybe something off of here. That might work out pretty well. This is what I'm rolling with. I chopped a bit of the J1772 and Chatamo bracket that I just did and am welding to a piece of conduit, which is then going to tie into the plate for the motor mount. So that should hold it very nicely. There we go, got that guy welded up, and I'm pretty happy with this setup. Got the conduit and the bracket on the engine mount bracket, so it's pretty good. I'm pretty excited about it. I can shake the whole car, so yeah, should work out. I am dying to get some water into the system to check for leaks. In my eagerness, I forgot to attach the lower hose. So, so looks like we got a leak at the seam on this silly reservoir. Here's the original cooling system, the solid lines. So we have the motor, the pump, the reservoir, radiator, and you fill the reservoir at T's, goes to the pump on the upper side of the radiator, and then so that's how it works. It's air bubbles out to the reservoir, and then it pumps to the top of the motor assembly, cuts around. Actually, it goes to this one, then at the middle, and then to the bottom, goes there to cool the motor, and then goes to the lower input of the radiator. So my initial idea was, hey, let's just tee into these spots, but since the radiator is backwards, it's gonna kind of mess it up a little bit and a lot of extra tubing. So this is what I ended up doing.
radiator, motor, you know, all of the LEAF stuff, the kind of pre-configured LEAF things are the same. Here's the pump here. The difference is the input and output of the radiator is flipped. So we have the pump there drawing from the bottom. So it'll always have coolant. Very similar to this guy. Because this is always full, this always has coolant at its input. If this is full, this will always have coolant. And then it pumps up, just like in the original setup, to the inverter. And then does the same thing, except this time it pumps to the top, very similar to like a more traditional radiator setup. So air is going to be purging at the top, which is going to collect in here. So I'm going to test it out, and I'm also going to test with no fans to see, you know, since the radiator is super accessible, I can just put my hand to it and see if it ever gets warm. So far, after endurance charging, it hasn't gotten warm yet. So now I'm going to take a look at the actual system. You can kind of see it in real world. Here you can see it purging air kind of naturally. I'm using the clear tubing because it's way easier to see that. Here's the fan controller plug. And the fan controller itself looks awfully like a Tesla fan controller. Kind of cool. And here are the fans. But like I said earlier, I think I'm just gonna try to see how it does without any active cooling for the motor, and I'm just gonna, and the power electronics, I'm just gonna see if it ever warms up. It's ice cold. Not really ice cold, but it's, I don't know, probably 60 degrees, which is ambient temperature roughly. And it's charging, so nothing, no heat whatsoever. And I'm definitely getting good coolant flow. Then here's a shot of the outlet from the pump, which is down here, up to the power electronics. And it might be easier to see from below, but from this unit here, swings over and connects in there. And then see those two down there? There's one right here, which I'll take a view from underneath. That guy up there then goes down to this cluster, these two, and then this one goes to the upper radiator hose, or the port. And then that lowest hose, which originally went to the lowest port on the radiator, comes to the upper port on the radiator. This stuff is so cool, this door trim. You're able to cover up all the sharp edges and everything. It's really handy, and it pinches into place. Thanks for watching the extended cooling system breakdown. Now that it's ready to drive, I guess I better get it out in the wild. I'll see you in the next one. Just parking it.